Lewis Hamilton is one of the most legendary drivers in F1 that the world has ever seen. His life is a perfect image of the maximum success an F1 driver can have throughout their career. A person who could be put on the same pedestal as other legendary drivers who have ever existed in the sport. Lewis Hamilton has been an important asset for Mercedes and the entire F1 fraternity. But what has been going on with him recently? Is he really leaving the team? Let's find out.
Naturally, at the end of any season, for those who are around my age of course, you are thinking about the future, about what are the next steps, the right steps for you to take, and what is right for you in terms of overall happiness.
Well, as you heard, things are not really as smooth as we may have expected them to be. From what we understand, the speculations of him leaving Mercedes are very high. The multiple titles winning driver making a very sad statement, indicating a threat to his position, especially after his new teammate George Russell entered the sport, is certainly not the best sight that the F1 fans would ever like to see in this sport. A lot of people feel that the move would be silly, and this was never expected by them over the past couple of years. Well, jokes aside, from what it looks like, there are high chances that we may see them working on an absolute beast of a machine even by the next seasons, as Mercedes is not a team to shy of making comebacks. So feelings like this cannot be turned down entirely. With people making such speculations, they also add that the move will be too early, considering the fact that the contract is valid until 2023. On the flip side, however, it is very common for the teams to have some forms of exit clauses based on performances, which we think may come into application in the case of Lewis Hamilton's relationship with the Mercedes. At the same time, we cannot be sure if these clauses are a part of their contract, because documents of such nature are often confidential and hence never disclosed in public. There are multiple reasons for the fans to doubt this move as well, especially when we realize that it was just a few weeks ago that we saw one of the greatest drives by Lewis at the Brazilian Grand Prix. The opinions have never been less, and it was noticed that even Red Bull had something to say about it. Hamilton had to respond to the fierce comment by Red Bull's Helmut Marko, who stated that the driver must have retired at the end of 2022. Hamilton replied, saying that it's his masterpiece, and he'll decide when it's finished. The statement called for a lot of recognition for Hamilton, and people called the statement he made in response a very iconic one. It's a fact that even the thought of him leaving the profession or retiring from Mercedes or the sport as a lot is too early to make any changes. Hamilton has made sure he gets heard, and he justifies all such rumors that are flying by each day.
I always evaluate all of my options, but I did make a commitment to the team last season, and ultimately, I love what I do. I love being a part of the team, working with everyone towards a common goal. I feel like I am at my best, so why do I need to leave?
These statements have further raised a lot of arguments where the driver's confidence in him doing the best has been questioned. It is a fact that even in the latest Monaco Grand Prix, we have not seen the Mercedes car or the driver taking up the top spots. From what we see, it looks like there is a clear lack of confidence in the car, and the reason for that is the immense gap in the research development of Mercedes in comparison to the others. The car has been bouncing on the track throughout the practice session. To make things worse, we noticed that the race day was not at all what we expected, with 2 red flags, one because of the excessive rain and the other one owing to a gearbox issue in Schumacher's Haas. The 2 red flags in such a happening track are not only bad luck, but also a very bad thing to have. This could also have been one of the reasons why the race leaders were all very close to each other throughout the race. This created a very good competition towards the end. However, speaking of Hamilton, he was only able to finish 8th this time, which is a position behind where he was placed the last time on May 23, 2021. The progress has been a bit on the negative side, and it looks like things are not so great according to the standards Lewis has set in the past. The teams often work on the cheapest possible technology that could provide them with the pace that they desire. Even in Mercedes' case, the cost caps being introduced may become a serious issue as the teams are not allowed to make use of more than the specified amount throughout the year. This means that if they make the wrong choice in terms of the part they choose to develop, chances are that they may end up making some serious losses over time. The limit being set by them is $140 million. The teams are not allowed by the FIA to spend more than the prescribed amount. The miracle for Mercedes that could solve their porpoising issues has not yet been found. This means that it will take some time before we see a serious resolution to the issues. The extensive difference between the on-track performance and the simulator performance is one of the biggest issues that is holding them back. The difference is analyzed to be close to a second, and hence is something very serious for the team to take into consideration. Irrespective of what they do, the car just seems to be a bit slower. Toto Wolff has a lot of things to compare the car with, and says,
I believe that we are going to get it nailed on with this car as well. You can see that many other teams like Ferrari still have some bouncing, but they have done many other things right that we missed out on, or that we didn't perform very well. And same for Red Bull. Their car got quick from one day to the other in Bahrain testing by bringing the update.
So that was about the issue that they are facing right now. It looks like there needs to be some major additions to the car that will help them make a significant advancement to the points table. There are a few things that the people who believe he will leave the team have to say. One of them is the contention that the fall in the quality of the work that Mercedes has been putting through, along with the change in team partners, are a few of the changes. Well, these are yet again speculations that may not really make a lot of sense, given that there is no backup to such contentions. However, a factor that needs to be taken into consideration is that such contentions often make a person realize, or at the very least think, of the problem. Well, a team that has been able to win 8 consecutive world championships and has been holding a lot of records in the past couple of years, this is certainly not the right track for them to follow. Disappointments like this hit hard as soon as the progress being made becomes subtle. They have been finishing behind Ferrari and Red Bull on almost all the race days. Toto Wolff also tried to make some clarifications on the rumors flying around in the entire market.
Lewis has been the most successful driver in Formula One history in terms of wins and pole positions, podiums, you name it, and equally with Michael on 7 championships. I think he knows pretty well when the time is to retire. Nobody can take him the legend status anymore, and we are here to provide him with a machine that is capable to make him win his 8th title, whether this is this year or the next.
He then continues to speak about the reasons why he has been facing this in recent times. When asked about the races in specific and the poor performance being shown, he stated,
I think it's not only about this particular race weekend or weekends that happened or that are coming. It's about rediscovering where we're good at, actually. And for me, it almost feels like that I enjoy getting it wrong.
So as you see, this is the kind of confidence they have been having in Lewis Hamilton. There seems to be no such indication of Lewis leaving the team, either from him personally or from the team representatives. Though we cannot conclude with this, as morale is a significant factor, we can be sure things will work out well in the long run. That's all for today. We will meet you again in the next one. Until then, keep watching F1.